Well, I'm here today at Valley Road in the Monticello AVA, and I'm joined by Stan and Barbara, who are a couple of the owners here. Stan is the CEO. Barbara, what do you do here?
I am the Director of Marketing.
I love that. And we're going to talk a little bit about why all of these things are so important and how they come together with this amazing group of owners. So thank you so much for having us here today.
Yeah, pleasure.
And as I talked to Barbara at an event where we met, she was telling me a little bit about this place and how it came to be with a group of friends. So tell us that story.
Well, we have 5 couples involved here. Barbara and I are the only ones that are actually here on the ground, but only 24/7. The other 4 couples are here a lot.
Yes.
But basically, it's a Richmond-based group for the most part, and we had different professional, personal, and other relationships over the years. We were not a friend group. It was just the hub and the spokes, and it all came together around that time of life when everybody was looking at, is there a next chapter, or were they going to retire? And people call this retirement, and I'm telling them, you've never farmed if you
This
call
is not retirement. This is working.
This is the next book, not the chapter.
Right.
Absolutely. Well, you've poured us a little Viognier. So while we chat, tell me a little bit about this Viognier.
Well,
Oh, nice.
unmistakably Viognier.
Oh, yeah.
Well, you know, it wasn't that long ago that we unofficially referred to Viognier as Virginia's signature grape. And the only problem with that is that when you highlight one grape as the signature grape, it sort of gently implies that everything else is down a notch, and that's simply not true. In Virginia with Petit Verdot and Cab Franc and even Petit Manseng on the way and others. So, but anyway, VO does very, very well here, and when in our early years, we didn't know just a whole lot about wine, and but somebody in this valley does. She's a master of French wine, so she set up a tasting of various wines for us. And one of the featured wines was our 2015, which was a gold medal winner, and we blind tasted it against Condrieu, the gold standard of French Viognier, and ours won 9-1. And that's when I learned that you tend to like what you know, because no one ever tasted Condrieu before. But the Viognier here, particularly in the Monticello AVA, but throughout Virginia, is quite special.
Well, what are we going to try next? This is amazing.
Yeah, thank you. So we're going to go with the Cabernet Franc, and I know you know, this is such a special part of the state for Cabernet Franc. Different styles throughout the region. This one you'll find is I would call it a light to medium bodied. Okay. There's some other great Cabernet Franc throughout the area that is bigger, fruitier, bolder. And I love those too, yes. But this one's very elegant. This one just made us proud because it received gold in the Monticello Wine Cup. So to get it from this region, recognition from your peers was pretty special.
Where so many grow Cab Franc. Yeah. That's fantastic. Yeah. So this beautiful Cab Franc, what a color, oh my goodness.
They're beautiful.
I love that. Blends right into your shirt, Barbara.
And it's on brand.
Exactly, exactly. Oh my, I love that aroma.
Well, we're big fans. We've planted our first vineyard back here in the spring of 2016, and it included a block of Cabernet Franc. A year and a half ago or so, we acquired the meadow next door to us, which is very well suited for grapes as well, and we planted 2 different similar clones of Cabernet Franc there.
Yeah.
We're fans, and we're trying to do different things with it. Of course, the Meritage and the single varietal. And
oh yeah. Oh, fantastic. Well, and I'm dying to taste your Petit Verdot. This is gorgeous. Look at that deep purple.
Yeah,
oh.
Beautiful. 2017 Governor's Cup was the first time we entered a competition. Yeah. Like so many things you do for the first time, you have no expectations or any idea how to do anything.
Yeah.
One of the things that happened was that year in the Governor's case, those top 12 wines out of the 500 plus entered,
Yes.
5 of the 12 in the case were 2014 Petit Verdot. 4 of those were from this neighborhood.
Oh my
One,
gosh.
one of them was ours, of course.
Oh
And
my
so,
gosh.
anyway, that, you know, in an industry internationally that doesn't have a lot of new news, it's an ancient industry, this was buzz. Petit Verdot, because you can't even, you're not even permitted to make a single varietal
Right.
in France, as you know.
Exactly.
Well, the buzz goes around. The next thing we know, Forbes magazine has come down and is doing a story on it, and on this area in Petit Verdot. And the title of the piece is, "How do you market a wine no one's ever heard of?" So, of course, the point was, the point was that if California and France don't do it, you know, who's ever heard of
Yeah,
it?
right.
The market's
It's
never
not
been
done.
penetrated.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's not worth it, everybody thinks. And in France, it's only a blending rate, and pretty much in California as well.
Well, and
For all
people
intents and purposes, yes.
people say so they can't grow PV in California. I say no, but if you can grow and ripen and make a great Cabernet Sauvignon, maybe the best in the world,
Right.
and a big Zinfandel,
Right.
why would you struggle with a Petit Verdot in that, you know? But it turns out it's our big red
Yeah.
in Virginia.
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
so.
Yeah, when you were talking about earlier the fact that Viognier was called the Virginia
Signature
grape,
grape, yeah.
I really, in my mind, it's Petit Verdot and Cabernet Franc, because those are such signature grapes for us, and I just, this is amazing.
Thank you.
Thanks very much.
Well, thank you so much for tasting with me.
Oh, thank you for joining us.
Absolutely,
Any
I'm loving
excuse
it.
to taste good wine with friends, you know?
Absolutely, any day.
Yes.
Cheers to you.
Cheers.
Cheers.